On a chilly night in Philadelphia, fans of the 76ers, they are ready to welcome back their team after a 4-game California road trip. But the question is, will the city of brotherly love live up to its nickname with a former brethren in town? James Harden making his return to the city he called home for 15 short months. And he is looking to help his current team tread above the play-in waters. Clippers, 76ers, we're counting you down on ESPN.
Welcome to NBA Countdown, presented by DoorDash.
Hey, welcome inside our Los Angeles studios alongside Brian Windhorst, Kendrick Perkins. I'm Malika Andrews. And in your average season, we might start the show diving into the return of James Harden to his former team, into the cauldron of hatred that is the Wells Fargo Center at times. Because remember, this is a tenure that ended with Harden calling Daryl Morey a liar. But here's the thing, this isn't your average season. And Wendy, there is much more on the line for the Clippers than a return game here.
It doesn't matter who they're playing or where they're playing. This is a must-win game for the Clippers tonight. They have no more margin for error.
Well, and to that point, it wasn't that long ago that for one day, one short day, Kendrick Perkins, the Clippers were in first place in the Western Conference. That day was February 6th. And since then, they're 10-12, and most of those losses have come at home. They've gone 3-9 at Crypto.com Arena in that span. Now, the three ball, that had been a major weapon for the Clippers, right? Through February 6th, they were shooting just under 40% from three, leading the NBA. That's down to 36% since. That is 15th in the league, right in the middle of the pack. And the Clippers, they have simply been out-hustled during this span. They've been outscored on second chance and fast break points, as well as points off turnovers and in the paint. So, Brian, you just said that it's gut check time. It is a must-win scenario for a team. It's time to get you out to Wells Fargo Center. Mike Breen, take it away.
Thanks, Malika. Welcome to a Wednesday night in Philadelphia. Another very important night around the NBA with 2.5 weeks left in the regular season. The 76ers hosting the Clippers for the second time in 4 days. And a huge crowd expected on hand as Mr. Harden will return. Welcome to NBA Courtside, presented by DoorDash. The return of Harden, some extra drama. It's his first time back since the trade in November. Clippers not worried about that. They just want to get a win. Meanwhile, Tyrese Maxey and the Sixers trying to stay out of the play-in game and still hoping for the return of the big guy, Joel Embiid. And good evening, everyone. With Stephanie White, Mike Breen on hand, Katie George with us as well. It's another one of those nights in the NBA, 12 games, and they all seem to have some sort of playoff implication. Let's start with the Clippers. Sometimes this season there's been stretches where we think this team could win it all. Then there are other stretches where you're saying, all right, it might be a big playoff disappointment again for the Clippers. Where are they now, Stephanie, and what's the key for them?
Well, it's back against the wall time now for the Clippers. Their effort, their toughness, their resilience has come into question by their coach in Ty Lue. And you can see the numbers. They have really struggled since the All-Star break. Their three-point shooting offensively has plummeted, but defensively, that's the biggest cause for concern. Execution of scout, playing with multiple levels of effort. Their defensive efficiency has not been good.
And you mentioned Tyronn Lue not happy. He actually used the S word, soft, when describing his team. But of course, the big story here in Philadelphia is Harden returning. With more on that, let's check in with Katie. Hey, Katie.
Hey, Mike. So it's been 5 months since James Harden was traded to the Clippers. And while the players are certainly past that, Sixers fans have patiently awaited his return to the Wells Fargo Center for quite some time. James Harden makes his return tonight. Might be a couple of boos, might be some cheers, but there will be no ill words from his former teammates. Tobias Harris said Harden is a Hall of Famer. It was an honor playing alongside him. While Tyrese Maxey says Harden helped him with his basketball IQ and confidence. Maxey said, when an MVP believes in you and urges you to be ultra aggressive, it goes a really long way. So it's all love and respect among the players, Mike. That is.
All right, Katie, while Harden returns for one night, still no word definitively about Joel Embiid. They're still hoping he comes back. In the meantime, just trying to keep their head above water. They're 7th in the East right now. Tyrese Maxey's been the key. He has seen the whole gamut this season, Stephanie.
He sure has. Every defensive game plan is about trying to contain Tyrese Maxey, and he's been exceptional. His growth in terms of decision-making has been outstanding. His numbers back it up. This is a guy who sees blitzes now 11% of the time he has the ball in his hands. And his ability to read and make the right play is critical. Right here, he finds the pocket pass, and you're playing 3-on-2 on the backside. Great spray for open threes. I'm not sure there's one person in the league who can check him one-on-one. When he's got this much space to operate, it becomes about what decision do I make? Not over-penetrating, getting to the float game, getting himself to the line.
Well, Maxey and the Sixers beat the Clippers in LA on Sunday. Chance for revenge for LA and a much-needed win for them. More Courtside coming up.
NBA Courtside on ESPN is presented by DoorDash, the official partner of the NBA. The city of brotherly love isn't always so loving.
James Harden leaves Philadelphia. He needed to go.
They didn't want me. It's that simple.
James Harden returns to Philly with a Clippers team that has all the pieces.
Clippers are a championship caliber. The Clippers, they are special. Kawhi is on fire. George wants it all.
You know, we have that confidence that we are good enough to lock in when time to lock in.
The Sixers are fighting every night to avoid the play-in.
It's going to be a tight race. We got to win as many games as we possibly can.
The Sixers are going to win. Oh, man. Tyrese Maxey, take it over. I've been steady running through these ups and codes.
Tonight, Philly's brotherly love is on full display.
It'd be great to play against him and compete. And knowing him, it's going to be fun.
And that's how we welcome you to an NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm, part of the PNC Bank playoff push. The Sixer fans normally very reserved about expressing their emotions, but James Harden, as expected, roundly booed on the introductions in his first game back since the trade way back in November. But both Harden and the Clippers and the Sixers, as much as this is part of the drama tonight, Stephanie, they need wins. And right now, with the season heading in the home stretch, that's what they're concentrating on.
Both of these teams are in must-win situations. Sixers certainly don't want to be in the play-in tournament if they can help it, trying to scratch and claw their way. And the Clippers, a championship caliber roster, but do they have the championship caliber mentality?
Well, they've got to figure something out right now because they have not been playing good basketball as of late. As we look at the starting lineups, Hartman, George, Leonard, and Zubac. Meanwhile, Maxey, Lowry, Albury, Harris, and Mo Bamba starting at center. And still no definitive word about Joel Embiid. He's been working out on the court, no contact yet. They're still hoping that he will return sometime before the end of the regular season. The Clippers come in 4th in the Western Conference, just a half game ahead of 5th, just a game and a half ahead of 6th, and really only 2.5 ahead of 7th. That Western Conference so crowded. Philadelphia, meanwhile, they come in tied for 7th in the East with Miami, only a game and a half back of 6th, as everybody wants to avoid the play-in. Although a few teams will be grateful.